Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to another Microsoft SQL Server tutorial video. My name is Jay. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to import next JSON objects in Microsoft SQL Server. So it's been a long time since I make SQL Server tutorial videos, but I don't see any videos focusing on importing next JSON objects, and so I decided to just make one. And because this topic is actually pretty important, and with JSON data file is pretty much anywhere if you are working with data. If you are working with an API and I need to extract information, and most likely it's going to be a JSON data type. And I can almost guarantee you that the table structure is not going to be two dimensionals like an Excel table with rows and columns. Before we dive into this tutorial, I just want to point out that this lesson is aiming for more experienced users. If you have never imported JSON data file in Microsoft SQL Server before, then I will suggest you watch my first video, how to import JSON data file, and I'll link the link in the description below. And with that being said, let's get started. The JSON data file I'm going to use in this exercise is my YouTube playlist JSON file. And actually import this JSON data set from YouTube's data API. And let's just take a look at the data structure real quick. By looking at this JSON data file, and we can see that from line 2 to line 43 is considered as one record. And from line 44 to line 40, let's see, so this one has more items. From line 44 to line 95, and that's considered as one record. If we just look at the first record, and we have multiple columns. So the kind column, ID, snippet. Within the snippet column, we have publish at column. That's the playlist create dates, channel ID, title, description, and thumbnails, which is the image used for that particular playlist. And here's another channel title, localize, and status. So that's the playlist privacy settings, and content details indicating how many items you have within this playlist, and players is the HTML markup. Now before we begin, so we need to look at each JSON object as its own table. So like default, so from the default object, we have to look at this as one table, and thumbnails is as one table. From the default table, we have three columns. So think about these three keys or tags as individual columns. So if we look at the structure, from the thumbnails table, we have three tables: default table, median table, and high table. And from the high table or median table, they all have the same columns. And same with the status column. So if we look at the status column, and this is going to be treated as one table. And because within this table, you have additional items within this ID, so status ID. Now let's go to SQL Server. And here I'm going to make a note of the columns I want to extract. So from this data set, I want to extract the ID column. Oops, ID. And so let's do this. So I also extract the default thumbnails information. And it's because the hierarchy is a little bit more, it has actually not more complicated, but has more layers than the other JSON objects. So I'll extract the ID, and from the thumbnails, I'll extract the default thumbnail information, so such as URL, width, and height. And also extract the privacy status, so privacy status, item count, and that should be good. Okay, I think that should be sufficient for this demonstration. So we'll extract the ID, and from actually I'll also grab the publish dates. So publish dates, and I think that should be sufficient because I'm actually going to use this SQL script and for any other next JSON object importing task. So here I'm going to declare my JSON table as varchar, and it's going to be max strings. And next I'm going to assign the JSON table is equals to book column, and here I'm going to open the JSON data file using the open row sets statement, and I'm going to insert the book statement to indicating I'm going to import in the JSON data file in bulk. And here's my playlist.json file. So I'm going to grab the file path and I'll just paste it here. And it's going to be single club. This club, let me check. Well, yep, it is. So it's, yep, it's going to be single club. And I'm going to name this as JSON. Do I need to? That's probably not. Oh, yeah. So I do need to name this as a separate table. And now if I open the JSON table variable, and I'm going to use the open JSON function, I'll provide the JSON string, so which is going to be from JSON table. And actually this should be a wildcard. Right. So this is what the JSON data file does when you import the JSON file. So we have the key and the type. So type indicating the JSON file, the JSON record data type, and between that we have the value column, which is the JSON record string. So this is the first record, and as you can see that it's kind of scrambled all over the place. But this is what the first record is going to look like. Just a bunch characters mixed together. And let me close this. Now we have the JSON string. So this is one string. This is a string of one record and this is a string of another record. Now we can basically slice layer by layer to extract all the columns we want. Alright, so first we need to extract just the columns from the first layer. So like kind, e-tag, ID, snippet, status, content detail, players. So these are the first layer of JSON objects. So I'll grab the ID and snippet. It should be columns. So ID should be varchar, and let's do 20 characters. And snippet, let's do. Oh, so I forgot to mention. So when JSON, so I'm going to use the real definition here now. So for each JSON object, like snippet, and because snippet has another JSON object underneath, and we have to declare the snippet JSON object as varchar. And status, and we're going to declare status as varchar as well. Now let's declare content details as just regular varchar data type, and let's see what will happen. And it's going to be table 8, so first table. Now if I just execute this SQL script, and okay, and here we'll get ID back, but we're not getting any value back for snapper status and content details. Let's see why. Oh, so I know why. So we need and the other thing is we also need to indicating the table name. So when we do the select statement, so this is going to be table A, and select all. Let's see. Oh, so here I forgot. And the other thing is I need to declare the column as JSON. And so here, let me go back to here. So we name the table as T. Okay. And so I'll name content details JSON object as JSON as well. And I know this one is going to give me an error. So if I just run it, and here we're getting a message as JSON option can be specified only for column of unvarchar type and in weight class. So when you are importing JSON objects, you must use unvarchar and declare them as JSON data type. Now if I change the data type from varchar to unvarchar, and if I run the SQL statement again, now this time I'm going to get the JSON object string back based on the columns I declare within the weight class. So here we have the snapper JSON object, the status JSON object, and the content detail JSON object. Now we need to slice the information layer by layer. And from the snapper object, my end goal is to extract the default thumbnails columns. So I'm going to treat these three items as columns. So I need to use the cross apply to basically join the tables. And I'm going to use the open JSON function. So to join the table, we need to use the cross apply statement to join the JSON object. And our first table is going to be the snapper table. So from table A dot snapper, and within the snapper JSON object, so this is going to be table snippet. And I need to see. So I want to grab the publish dates, and it's going to be date time. And let's see. So I also want to grab grab the title as well. So we have the ID and title. So title, and let's do varchar 155. And for the thumbnails, and we know it's a JSON object, so thumbnails, and it needs to be unvarchar. And it's going to be mixed characters as JSON. Now if we go back to the select statement, and from table snippet, and I can now extract the publish ads and the title. And I know let's see. And I know the thumbnail is still going to be JSON object. So this one will be, let's see, thumbnails. So here's the published date and the playlist title. So here I'm going to replace the wildcard and to specify the columns that I need. So just the ID column. Okay, now again, so we'll use the cross apply, open JSON, and this time it's going to be, let's see, table snippet dot thumbnails. Oh, should be tables, but thumbnails. And we're going to use the width clause and to specify the columns I want to extract. So from the thumbnails, we only want the default JSON object. So this one is going to be table thumbnails. And there's only one JSON object, which is default. Oh, and because default is a reserved word, so I need to put a square bracket around. Now here, so let's see. So thumbnails dot default. Okay. So I don't need the thumbnails column anymore, so I can just remove that. And now if I expand the default column, just let me do that. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the first value, and here's what the value looks like. So we have the URL and the width, the height. So we know this is the last layer, and so next time when we apply the cross apply statements, I can declare my column as just like a regular column. So cross apply, open JSON, and from the thumbnails, table thumbnails, the defaults. And we're going to insert the with statements. And here doesn't, oh, so I forgot the close parenthesis. Now we can extract the URL, the width, and it's going to be int. And this one's going to be just varchar. Let's do 255 characters. And the heights. And we're going to name this as table thumbnails. Actually, table defaults. Let's do defaults. Default thumbnails, maybe. Let's just name this table default dump. And I'm going to remove the default column, and I want to grab the URL, the width, and the heights. Right, by now you can kind of see the pattern. So all you have to do is just keep applying cross apply to different JSON objects. So cross apply, open JSON, and this time it's going to be status. So it's going to be table A status. And from status, oops. And I just need to extract the privacy status column. And I'm going to declare this column as varchar. And let's do just 50 characters. And content details. Oh, and this will be table, and this will be tables status. So from table status, we want to grab the privacy status column. And from content details object, there's only one column again, so which is which is the item count column. So item count, and it's going to be an integer. And let's name this as table content details. And that's it. So let's see. Content details dot item counts. Alright, now here's the final output. And if we look at each column, so if we just verify against our nodes, so we have the ID, publish dates, and title, which is the playlist name, and the playlist URL. I think these are thumbnails URL, it's not the playlist URL. And we have the default thumbnail URL, the thumbnail width, height, and playlist privacy status, and how many videos within that playlist. So this is everything I'm going to cover in this lesson, and hopefully you guys found the video useful. As always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.